Well, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us to another one of our surprising sessions, a fresh look on personal responsibility. Actually, it's the personal responsibility code. Okay, today we are going to have a very interesting perspective on this matter. And I am Ravital Chassanachum. I'm an energy reader and a coach, and I am the founder of the Abraham Hicks How to Change Your Life in 30 Days group. It's a practicing group for shifting and changing the vibration. And if you have never joined us or watched us before, the now is always the best moment to start. Okay, so here we are, and I'm going to share my screen. This is a live video, so everything that happens here is completely live and authentic. There's no rehearsals, hardly ever editing, so it's really as is. Okay, and I'm starting with sharing my screen. Today's session is going to be mostly with based on questions that I'm about to give you. If you'd like to pause the video and go get yourself a pen and a paper, that's awesome. So just do that for your own self as you're watching the video, and we're starting here. Here we are. The personal responsibility code. Okay, we're going to move on into it. And when I'm looking at personal responsibility, what I see in front of me is actually a cockpit. You see all those watches and gauges and clocks, and you see the runway of our airplane about to soar and start flying, detaching off ground. And what it means when we're detaching off ground, it means that we are by ourselves. Okay? Once we are taking responsibility, actually we are there. It's us. Okay? Now, when we think about personal responsibility and about responsibility, when I was looking at the dictionary, was looking for translation for this word, I was looking for more insights on the verbal level of it. What I actually found that it's all and only about you in the physical aspect and non-physical aspect of you. So we're talking about you and you only, me and me only, on the physical level and on the non-physical level. Okay, now we're starting with our questions, and the first one is define 5 physical aspects of you, and then define 5 non-physical aspects of you. You don't have to share those with us here. It's only for you. So what you would like to do is just write them down. It might be a bit challenging if you're not familiar with the non-physical aspect of you. However, your 5 physical aspects of you are going to give you a very good hint as for your 5 physical aspects of yourself. I'm coming back. Whenever you're ready, just click OK or yes. Suzette is ready. I'm going to wait for the other 2. We have another 3 viewers on YouTube, and I can see you. If you're making comments on YouTube or have questions on YouTube, I can pick them up from here. Just taking consider that there is a short delay between the YouTube and the Hangout. Tiffany is done. Petra, what about you? Ready and done. Okay, awesome. Now I have a new request for you. Check each one of the aspects on your list and mark from 1 to 10 of each one of them the level of your satisfaction of it. It was kind of challenging for me to phrase this question. However, the idea is that you have to look at each one of those aspects and mark between 1 to 10 what is the level of your being satisfied out of your performing in this, or how this aspect is performing in your life, or how are you satisfied from everything that happened in this aspect in your life. With 10 is the less satisfying, and 10 is the most satisfying. One is the least satisfying, and 10 is the most satisfying. It will take you a minute. Once you're ready, just let me know. Click yes, yes, yes. Okay. Petra is done. Tiffany is done. Okay, all three of you is done. Awesome. Now this is the next thing. Okay, highlight the aspects you rated the highest and the one you rated the lowest. And again, just note when you're done, let me know. Okay. Now, this is what you're going to do next. You're going to like that. Now, ask yourself, What is the key to your highest satisfaction level? And then ask yourself, what is the key missing on your lower satisfaction aspect? Now, just remember, these are questions you're asking yourself. The answers are between you and you. Don't worry, we're about to share really soon. You don't have to pick just one. You look at the highest level and the lower level, and you see what is the ingredients on the highest level and what is the missing ingredients in the lower level. I'm going to put this question again here. You don't, yeah, pick the highest one. Take yourself whatever is easy for you. Whatever just jump into your eye. Pick the one that the answer are just immediately jumping into your eye. Something that you can immediately see. Something that is extremely obvious to you. The others, you have your lifetime to check. Just let me know once you're done. I know it's the kind of question that we usually don't ask ourselves. However, this session is not like any other session. It's a little different, and that's what's unique about it. And that's what you would like to participate in those sessions. Petra is done. Tiffany is done. We have a new viewer, so could you please put yourself on mute? Okay. Okay. So we are going to run into our next one. And can you see my screen? Awesome. So what did you learn from those exercises? And whatever you have learned from those exercises, this is what I would like you to share with me. I would like you to share your results. Petra say, I control what is happening in my life. So what you have learned from this exercise that you actually have control about what is happening in your life. Any more? Okay, so that said that she was learning what is that she's satisfied with and what is she needs to be worked on. Okay, so actually those exercises made it clear to you what is it that you're satisfied and what is it that you're not satisfied. Any more, Tiffany? Anything you're willing to share with us? Okay, Tiffany said, I decided how those aspects affect me. Awesome. So I can say that all three of you, we have a new, another participant. Okay, you just jump. Okay, so each one of you who made those exercises from the beginning was able to draw an insight from those exercises, a personal insight. And you who are going to view this video in a later time, hopefully you're going to draw the same. Okay, now let's go back to my slides. Somehow I cannot stop saying okay. Now look at this word, responsibility. And now make a list of at least 5 words associated with the word responsibility. Those 5 words are supposed to draw from your day-to-day life. And I'm inviting you to share them with us. Five words that are associated with responsibility. Does that have a very interesting list? So Patrick came with discipline, self-trust, self-empowerment, care, view on life. Josette came with to-do list, parenthood, citizenship, and diet. And Patrick said that he doesn't enjoy discipline. Any more? Any more? Okay. Okay, Tiffany came with duties, cares, self-discipline. And Josette came with Bashar, which is the ability to respond. Let's go back to my slides. Now, I want you to think about it, how those words actually makes you feel. Those 5 words that related to responsibility, how those words make you feel. When you look at those words that are reflecting responsibility in your day-to-day life, how do you feel about those words? How those words make you feel? Heavy. Tiffany say heavy. Battery feel fulfilled. And then say that it makes her feel incompetent sometimes. Okay. Let's move on. Now, go the other way around. Write 5 words describing the potential of responsibility. Look at the potential of that word. I love those exercises because they are really refreshing the way, the direction that things actually take. Sometimes it gives us a really, really good idea how we can actually find it. Jeanette is jumping first. She said success, personal value, honor, capable, motivating. Any more? I wish if we could make it a Disney movie. I would love it with all the epic effects and the music and the blah 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 and the tararam of everything. However, we really have to go into ourselves, into this quiet place within ourselves, and actually draw those answers. In order to process things, we have to be in stillness. We have to be in peace. We have to be in a meditative type of space. When you go to one of those epic movies, okay, you can have one aha or 2, but all others aha are going to come far, far later on. Here we're dropping those ahas as we go. Tiffany say anticipation, trustworthy, and motivation. So it's not that heavy anymore once you flip it. Once you flip it, there's anticipation over there, there's trustworthy, and motivation. Pedro, any word of wisdom coming from you, my love? Pedro is going into his relationship to others and the planet. Lack of responsibility. Let the universe flow so far. Nice. Nice. Okay. You see, the key can be found by reversing the direction of the translation. And this is a good practice because every time you look at the word, you can tell yourself, let me reverse it. And many times I have realized that the key to master something is on the reverse of the translation of it. Now, I wanted to go back to your first list and check it with this new lenses, okay? What is the first thing you realize about both aspects, the highest and the lowest? Again, I would like you to go back to your first list where you did the 1 to 10 gauge when you assessed your aspects, and go back to that list and check it with these new lenses, the lenses of responsibility, the one that we just got on top right now, which you say success, personal value, anticipation, trustworthiness, motivation, relationship with others. Just look through those lenses. And what is the first thing you realize about both aspects, the highest and the lowest? What is the first thing that you notice as you're looking at that list? It's kind of surprising and refreshing once you have the ability to look through that view. Josette, I'm trying to understand your comment. Can you elaborate a little bit more? I'm not sure I'm following you. Okay, so Patrick said, I can decide what is happening with the items on the list. Petru said, actually, in other words, if I understand you right, Petru said that he is reclaiming his seniority over some events or more aspects in his life. When you're looking at these aspects in your life that we have defined as, you know, the highest satisfying and the lowest satisfying, okay? Now that you look at those aspects from those lenses, okay, of responsibility when we reverse them, what is that you're learning from them? What is the first thing that jumps into your eyes? What's the insight you can immediately draw from that? It's okay if we're not getting everything right now. It's fine. Tiffany, any ideas? Okay, what Suzette is saying that I see, okay, Tiffany is not ready yet. I see that, Suzette is saying that I see that the highest are the positive aspect and the lowest are the opposite of the highest. Okay. Don't worry about it, you're gonna get it. What I would like you to do now is very, very simple. Okay? I want you to look of how do you feel now? Now that you have a bit of a shift of awareness over those aspects in your life and the personal responsibility and your responsibility, how does it feel now? Tiffany said that the highest for me are aspects I'm most confident in. And Pedro say that he feel annoyed. I have to start doing something about the lows. And Gisette say that she has clarity now that they are identified, so I can work on them. Awesome. So what I realize that you have gained some clarity. What I would like to do now, I would like to give you my overview on the code to personal responsibility. And the way I think about it is that we actually live in contrast. We live in a contrast reality. And I think that what happened is that we are experiencing from the opposite way around. Everything that we were supposed to be happy about and we're supposed to feel, and it's supposed to free us, every key to freedom that we ever had, and personal responsibility is one of them, had been converted to something which looked like a burden that we're trying to skip away from. And personal responsibility is one of them. If you think about responsibility, if you look at it in the dictionary, nearly all aspects are about liability, about carrying something, about facing some kind of a duty, and some form of some form of so to say penalty behind misperforming. So every time we're taking responsibility upon ourselves, we are holding accountable for the results. And we know very well that we cannot control results. So nobody wants to take responsibility because everybody understands that they cannot control results. And once we start trying to control our results, then life becomes some kind of a nightmare. When actually responsibility is our ability to take action, is our ability to choose, is our ability to decide, okay, how do we want to perform in each passing moment and according to each passing event in our life. To my perspective, personal responsibility is something that we were born with, and somehow we lose the meaning of it as we continue, as we grow, as we move on. Somehow we feel that personal responsibility is how we interact with others, is how we are communicating with our environment, is how we are taking care of ourselves in order to take care of others. Personal responsibility is how do we get up in the morning, how do we dress, how do we eat, how do we perform on the physical level. Okay, if we take enough meditation, or if we do enough exercises, or if we had achieved our goals. Personal responsibility seemed to be our, our task according to achieving our goals. So every time we have a goal, we take responsibility of achieving it, of being there. And every time we don't get there, we feel as if we failed. And every time we feel that we failed, we try less and less and less and less. And as we try less and less and less, we are practicing less and less and less the idea of personal responsibility, and we're drawing back from it. When actually personal responsibility is the core essence of our ability to enjoy our life. Now, as you know me, or if you don't know me, I can continue to talk forever, okay? I can be like Brandon, just talk forever and more. Okay? Now I want to continue with my slides. Let me do that. To my opinion, the way I see it, our personal responsibility has one key and one key only. We have only one responsibility, which is personal. And this is the only thing that I'm about to share with you here. And this is the way I see it. I see that the only responsibility that we have is over alignment. And what do I mean by that? In our reality, in our 3D to 4D reality, as humans, we have the choice to align or not to align, or to discord. We have that choice. And alignment, to the way I see it, alignment is our core responsibility to self. The way I see it, we have no other responsibilities. Or let's say personal responsibility is nothing but the choice whether to align or not to align. This is the code, according to me, to personal responsibility. Personal responsibility is the choice either to align or not to align. Now, I would like you to go back to your papers and give a moment. Alignment is allowing source to flow through you. How to allow that? Alignment is allowing source to flow through you. How to allow that? How do you allow source to flow through you, and how you actually discord from source? It may look like a bit of an abstract question, but if you think about it, it's actually very practical. It's very, very, very simple. Patrick say to cease judgment and follow your heart. That's one way. Here in this group, okay, we are familiar with the term alignment. This is something that we are practicing in our 30 days group. We are practicing alignment. We're practicing getting into the place of alignment. It's not a religious idea. It's a spiritual idea. So let's say, use your feeling and listen. Tiffany, are you with us here? Okay. Tiffany said that she had a delay. Okay, we are going to continue and you're going to catch up with us. It's really, really, really simple. Once we understand things, it's always simple. So the way I see it, there are two ways to align. The first one, you love source enough to allow it to flow through you by its nature, which is love. And the second one is you love yourself enough to allow source to flowing through you. Now, why did I give those two options? I gave those two options for the sole reason that some people cannot feel enough love for themselves in order to align, to let source just flow through them. In this case, if someone doesn't feel that they have enough love for their own self to allow source to flow through them, then the only way is the other way around, which is that you love source enough to let source come and hug you. Let's say you don't like yourself, you're not willing to hug yourself, okay? But you love the other one enough to give them the pleasure of hugging you, of loving you. Think about your dog. Actually, God is the opposite of a dog, right? Think of a dog. Your dog loves you. That's the only thing that your dog is doing. The only thing your dog is doing is loving you. Even though you don't love yourself at all, your dog is still going to love you. So what are you going to do every time your dog is going to come and wish to be with you and hug you and or lick you or just be there with you or jump around you? You're going to tell them, no, I don't like myself, so you cannot do this to me. You love your dog enough to let your dog have some good time with you. And as your dog having some good time with you, it's going to uplift your spirit. You're going to align with your dog. Same thing, okay, with source. You love source enough to allow source to flow through you because source loves you. So you give source the opportunity to flow through you. because that's what source actually wants. That's the only thing. We are experience of source in the physical. And thus, we actually projecting and manifesting for source in the physical. And the only responsibility that we have is to allow that to happen, because we as humans in this dimension, in this life, we have the choice to discord, to do something which is different, not to allow source to flow. Even though some people are going to tell me, but we are source no matter what. Yes, we are. Now I'm talking about a different level of awareness. Everything is source. That's true. Nearly. Now I'm talking about a conscious decision, which is our responsibility to take, whether to allow source to flow through us or to be discorded. So if you have enough, or let's say if you have a healthy doses of self-love to yourself, you just allow source to flow through you. And if you find that you don't have enough self-love doses to allow source to flow through you, the only thing you do is you just use the love that you have to source in order to allow source to flow through you. This way, the other, it's going to work. Let me go back to my slides. You see? So you choose one way or both, and this is the code. This is the code for personal responsibility. Of course, that I'm looking on personal responsibility from the highest perspective I can reach. I'm not talking about the physical aspect of the personal responsibility, which are like tying your shoes and comb your hair and look decent and wash your clothes and feed yourself and wash yourself and take care of yourself and take care of others. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a very, very high perspective of our ability to align. Our ability to align, this is the code to personal responsibility. Once we align, everything is just going to flow. And think about it. Once you allow source to flow through you, okay, you allow source, you allow that energy to flow through you, from that moment on, you're breathing better, you're eating better, you're performing better, you're communicating better. Life becomes magical. Synchronicities are showing up in your life. Angels are going to sing to you. That butterfly or that kind of bug is going to drop just where the tip of the fork is. Like happened to me the day before yesterday. I don't know where it came from. I had this huge whatever fly, I don't know what it was, all of a sudden coming from nowhere and flying just on the focus of my attention. I was like, what? Or I'm coming from shopping and I'm completely happy, and all of a sudden I see this awesome butterfly just flying around my tree. Out of nowhere, I never saw them. They don't have that butterflies here. Or today I'm getting out to my balcony to water my plants, and all of a sudden I see this bee. I said, hey bee, what are you doing here? And then she's telling me that she loves my flowers. And she found some flowers on my balcony, the mint flowers, and there's another big plant that has flowers that I love to chop. So she told me, don't chop them, I like them. That's what happened when you allow source to flow through you. Once you allow source to flow through you, all of a sudden life don't have that kind of a burden. They don't weigh that much. They just, things are just manifesting. And you're glowing. If it's for any value to you. Now this is the time, if you are ready with questions, this is your opportunity to ask me questions. And this is your opportunity to get some answers from me. If you're ready with them. If you have no questions, okay, I would love to have your comments and shares and insights about this idea. Oh, this is an incredible question, Pedro. How do you practice allowing source to flow through you? I can tell you that I have a very simple way of allowing this. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see how I allow source to flow through me? No? Why not? It's very simple. What I would like you to do now, okay, I want you to sit, close your eyes, and just allow it. Just allow it and feel it. He said, of course, yes. Just close your eyes and allow source to flow through you. I don't know if you can see it on my face. You should try that. You should try that. Make a conscious decision to allow source to flow through you. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and that's it. That's how simple it all is. Really. I can share my story of how I discovered this. Okay? I was getting up one day in the morning, and I didn't feel that good. I was kind of cranky. And I said, well, how am I going to bypass that? And I said, well, what about allowing source to do the work for you? Why should you do that all by yourself? Allow source to do it for you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to allow source to flow through me and fix it all up. At the moment I closed my eyes, I took the deep breath and I allowed source to flow through me. All chemicals in my body have shifted that way. I was a different person. Completely. That was like, I know that there are gazillions of questions that can come up from that declaration of mine. Okay? But just think about it as the first startup. Now, Josette have some questions. Have a question, so you can practice it. You can practice it and let us know how it works for you. And you can practice it as we are here. Okay? To me, it didn't take more than a fraction of a second. Okay, so you can try it and see. It's very simple, really. Okay, and Gisette, my questions were concerning spiritual responsibility to higher self. So it's nearly similar to what I was just sharing about the responsibility to flow source. It's on the same level, actually. So once you understand that, higher self is good. Higher self is covered. Because it's a higher perspective on the higher self, so higher self is included. So you're good. Tiffany, were you able to catch up with us? Awesome. Oh, you did awesome. Tiffany was sharing with us, is it correct to say that the aspect that I am least satisfied with are ones where I am not allowing source to flow through, which is why I'm dissatisfied? And now what is your question? What is your answer if you have to answer yourself? Tiffany? If you had to answer your own question, Tiffany say I would say yes. And Tiffany, I would say correct. You see, my role here is to make things as simple as possible, okay, as palatable as possible. And if you think about your responsibility to yourself, your responsibility is to align, to choose whether to align with source or not to align with source. This is the only responsibility you have. This is our choice. Now, once we were born completely aligned with source. Okay, as we grow up, we learn, okay, that we actually can we can disconnect from source. When do we disconnect with source? With a whole list of actions that make us feel empty. A whole list of actions that makes us feel uh, all the things that actually shrink us to our own self. So since we are living in this duality, since we are living in this contrast reality that we came here to explore, okay, and since we're source energy in the physical, we have the choice to choose, okay, whether we are willing, okay, to experience as we are connected to source, or we are willing to experience we're disconnecting to source. And this is the only responsibility we have. We have the responsibility to choose whether we want to be, connected or disconnected. And just think about it. If you're connected to source, aren't you going to get up properly in the morning? Aren't you going to get to take a good care of your body? Aren't you going to have a good relationship with others? Are you going to have enough abundance to feed yourself and your family? Aren't you going to be in good health, so to say? And once you decide to experience life from discord, okay, aren't you going to experience those heaviness, those burdens, those negativities, those challenges? Obviously you are. So the way I see it, the only responsibility we have is to decide whether we want to be in alignment and let source flow through us, or we want to be in discord and not allow source to flow through us. That's how simple it all is. And Gisette said that she feels wonderful as baggage weighed down. In my English? Petra has a question here. What to do with programs and conditioning that stop us allowing source on a moment-by-moment basis, especially the ones we don't know, subconscious programming. It's like every other muscle that you're training, habits and energy patterns are the same like all muscles in our body. Okay, at the beginning it's a little difficult and squeaking. Okay, at the beginning it's like everything else that I'm teaching here. It's like driving a bicycle, it's like swimming. You have to find your balance. Okay, at the beginning it's not going to be that quick. Okay, why? Because you got into a train of habits, okay, of being distorted more than you're allowing and connected. And as you're going to practice it more and more and more and more, it's going to work for you. Think about all those people that putting tattoos all over their body. What those tattoos are for? To remind them of things that they find which is significant to them. So I'm not telling you to put a tattoo. However, you can find a symbol that is meaningful to you, and every time you see that symbol is going to remind you to allow source, until the feeling in the body is going to be stable enough that every time that you're out of this feeling, you immediately feel that you are out of alignment. Okay, until the alignment feeling in the body is becoming steady enough that you immediately understand that you're out of the alignment. I don't understand. What do you mean low self-esteem? If you have low self-esteem, you have to choose the second option. The first option, I'm going to go back to this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. This is my answer to people that have low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, it means that you don't love yourself enough, okay, to allow source. Okay. Okay, but this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. I just want to go into that concept. If people find that they don't have enough self-esteem or love to their own selves, you know, just have enough. Use your love to source to flow it through you. Okay, we're having fun here on the chat, like we usually do. The next week's session topic is like the one that we have chosen the group, and it's about matching vibrations. What does it mean to match vibration, and how do we match vibration? It's more on the practical level. It's more on the practical level, and we're going to do it the same way as here, mostly by questions, because if I'm going to feed you all the answers and you don't go through the process of thinking, you may not have a grip on it. And I want you to have a grip on it. And I believe that today you had a much better grip than if I would just lecture you. So this is me. And as always, you can join us to our you can join us to our Facebook group. Here it is. And thank you. And if you'd like to have some more, you can check our live workshop group on Facebook and Google Plus Community, Abraham Hicks, How to Change Your Life in 30 Days. This is us. We're here. Everything is possible. And we're a live community. We're not just another stone on Facebook. So thank you very much. And thank you for being here with us. Namaste.